the one and only, he's not a whacker, Bob Sagarini. And Blair, let's get you and Dan up here, too.
Well, a great gathering of wonderful people for a shitty reason. And it's so great to see tables. This used to be the tavern where you drank yourself silly because you couldn't play the upstairs room. And Reggie was this building when I first moved here from Montreal. And this is the story I want to tell.
Excellent.
I have many, but this is the one. When I first moved here, the reason I moved to Toronto was because of the Diodes and a guy that started a little club in a basement called the Crash and Burn.
The Crash and Burn was in Toronto?
Yes.
Does anyone remember a little club called the Crash? All right, Bob, they're in your hands now.
Ralph Alfonso decided that the kids from the Queen Street, the Beverly Tavern specifically, and the OCA needed a place to play their artistic music, which became known as punk, and then new wave music. And I stumbled into this the first day I was here, before I actually moved into the city, and I saw the Diodes and the Biotones.
Hey, the Diodes. Sorry for jumping in, but John Catto of the Diodes, his sister is one of the most beloved members of our community.
She's in the room.
Margaret Catto. She's right over there. And I think, and Bob, I'm just jumping in because you got everybody's attention so much.
You're Danny Marks, so of course you're going to jump in.
I'm going to jump in. And also I'm jumping in to salute somebody who's not necessarily a musician or a poet, but is a brilliant part of our world, and that's Margaret Catto, in the middle of your story about the Diodes. Because I know that a lot of us in this room know and love Margaret. So carry on.
So I'm in this lousy basement bar, and I'm hearing all this local music, which, by the way, within weeks, I saw the Ramones there. Deborah Harry used to fly up here and hang out. And it was like, I recognized what it was, because I was lucky enough to be in Los Angeles and Hollywood when the Sunset Strip opened up, when it was the Doors and Buffalo Springfield and all that. And I was lucky enough to play the Fillmore and the Avalon when Jefferson Airplane, Grateful Dead. So I recognized what I was seeing. This was the future of popular music. So I come here
to the
Elmocambotavern,
I jumped in.
which was the club in this city at the time. And I'm upstairs at some record company function thing. And I get into an argument with either the record company guys or the press. I am trying to explain to them the importance of punk music and what's happening on the street locally in the city. And it turns into a shouting match. And I get thrown out by a guy named Reggie Boveri.
Wait a second.
Reggie literally picked me up and shuttled me down 2 flights of stairs, deposited me on the street, and said, "You're nothing but a fucking troublemaker, Sagarini."
Wait, you knew you and he still threw you out? Big surprise.
No.
Well, I mean, no, I'd be surprised.
I had come in, well, he just knew me from, I was the new kid from Montreal, and I made music. So, about 6 months later, my solo album comes out, which is called Gotta Have Pop.
Love that one. Great record. Great record.
Go on, not one of you bought that record. You're the guy. So, the record comes out. For some reason, the wonderful people at the Q107 and CFNY and Chump, they like the record, it's getting played. I get this big article, Peter Goddard's let me write the entire front page of the entertainment section of the Toronto Star about the local music scene and all this stuff. And it results, one of the first results was, I get booked by Mike Elder and company to headline the big room upstairs.
Mike Elder, who used to own this building.
So,
Hold it, he never owned it?
well, he owned it like he owned it. I love those people. I love his play. So I come back to play the gig, and I'm nervous because I know Reggie's going to see me, and I'm wondering if I'm going to have trouble getting into my own gig.
That's a twist. So what happened then?
So I'm outside, I'm debating whether to, and I see Reg, moving around, and he spots me. Reggie Beauvert came out onto the sidewalk, picked me up in his arms, and carried me
To the stage.
to the stage,
Yes.
the top floor of this bar.
Yes, brain.
He didn't say a word, but it was the greatest apology I ever heard. And I apologized to him. I said, sorry I was such a loudmouth. And he said, you are a loudmouth. So I love Reggie. He was tough but fair. His poetry was great. I spent many evenings with him and people like Seb Aniello and Ronnie Hawkins, letting Reggie be the star he was at places like Chicago's and all these wonderful places around the city. He is in this building with us, and I fucking loved him, and we all loved him, and I'm so happy to be here, and I just wish Reggie was physically here himself. Thank you.
Bob Sagarini. Well told, brother Bob. See, that's why he's the man.